Hello everyone, and welcome to this NodeJs tutorial. We're going to go over how to make a Node application with endpoints and how to use the npm package manager. So I'm going to pretend as if you already have Node installed properly on your computer. There's plenty of good articles and videos on how to do that, so I'm not going to replicate that. We're going to jump in straight into the code. The first thing we're going to do is set up our project using npm. So we're going to go into the terminal right here. We're going to type in npm init, which is going to ask us a bunch of questions to configure our project. The first thing it's going to ask for is a name. So I'm just going to let it choose, auto choose, keep going. That's a repository, keywords, author, license, and then we could say yes. And now it's going to make us a package.json file with our configuration, and we can store in here dependencies and everything we're going to install. So that if someone else copies our project, they could just type npm install, and it's going to go look in here, it's going to see what they need, and if they don't have it, it's going to install it for them so that they can run the project just like we're running it on our computer. So we got three things to install. One is body parser, that is going to parse the request headers. The second one is EJS, which is embedded JavaScript, and I'll go over that a little bit more. And the third one is Express, and Express is the most important piece of this whole project. Express works on top of Node to allow you to do HTTP requests back and forth through the web. So let's go and click enter. We typed it out. npm install the three packages with spaces in between, and -- save, which is going to tell it to add them to the dependencies, which we could see just happened right over here. These are the version numbers, and you can set these strictly. You can say a squiggly line, so about 2.61, or you can say anything above. Alright, so now that we have all our modules ready, we can go into the app. I have a template set up, and we'll go through it part by part and explain what's going on. The first thing we have is Express required into the project. So Express is going to do things like set the routes for us and all that. We got it called right away into a variable called app. We're going to require the body parser, and we're going to set up the body parser in two different ways. We're going to have it decode the URLs, and we're going to have it set up the JSON objects. And we're going to have a fake database, one name inside. This is going to be a user database. It's a fake user database. I have the view engine set up to EJS, so the only templates that are going to be coming through are going to be EJS templates. So we don't need to worry about the dot file type. We're just going to say all the files are going to be EJS, so just assume it. And then we're going to get right into what we're going to do. So app.get is a way, I'll start with the get. A get is a way to grab information without modifying the database, without modifying anything in the backend. It's just grabbing information. It has no modifying. A post is a way to modify the database. So usually you make something like new user, you post a new user, and that gets saved to the database, and now you have one more user than you did before. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through that problem. With the get, we could do things like response.json, and we can put a word inside. Let's just say Rick. So that's we're grabbing all the users from the database, from the fake database. And when we go there, we need to stop the server and restart it. Go there, we see Rick. Now, the reason we had to restart is because we don't have NodeMon running, so it's not a big deal. We're just gonna have to cancel and restart every time. So this is what's coming from the back end. We go and we request, and because we're at localhost /, it automatically goes to the index, which in this case is a get, an index, and this is what it's going to run. So pretty much what happens is when you activate that link, that URL, it will run the code inside this block. So let's change that, and let's do a render. So we're going to do a response.render. So we're going to send back, we're going to respond with two things. What is going to be the page? So in this case, I just called a view. It could be called banana if you wanted it to. So we're going to send back the page. We're going to send back an object with it. Down here, I'm going to go and call it, I think I call it all users. Yes. So we can call all users, and there we'll just throw the fake database, which is just an array of names. So we got that going. Let's stop the thing here, restart it, and go back to the app. I'm going to refresh it, and it should say username like. There we go. Now, if we wanted to throw in more users, we have to add them. And to add them, we're going to have to do it through a post. In this case, we don't have a front-end page for adding users, like an input box and a submit. So I'm just going to do it through an application called Postman, and I'll show how that works. But first thing we need to do is set up the code. So we're going to be sent a request with information, with an object. That's how posts work. You send an object to a link, and the database gets that object, and it gets that link activated. So here in this case, we're getting the new user link activated. Then this code is going to run, and it's going to have access to the object that we sent. So we're going to go here, and we're going to do request.body. In this case, we can go new user. And we're going to have to push that into the fake database. So fake database dot push. So pretty much adding it to our fake database. Once we do that, we can open up Postman. Here we have the link. We have a new user and the name Rick. Let's change this to Bob. I'm going to send him. I'm not sending back a response of, hey, we're good. So it's going to keep loading and expecting one. So I'm just going to cancel it. Let's send another one called Rob. Send that, cancel it, and now we can go to our browser and we can get that. Now it didn't work because I didn't stop the server and I didn't restart it. So I'm going to do that right now. Go back here. And now the database got cleared again because in this case it's not a real one. So it's just an array. And when you restart the server, it's just going to call it again like this. So we're going to have to do the whole process again. We go to Postman. Let's just send Rob. Go here. Fresh. And there we go. Rob showed up. And now let's go add another one. Jimmy. And Richard. Go here. And they showed up too. Now this isn't beautiful or anything, this is just to show the point of how a post works. So we're sending the object, in this case, an object with one key and one name. We can show an example right here. So what I'm sending through looks like this. We have an object, and inside we see new user. Next to that we'll see Rick or whatever. And that gets taken and sent to this link. And then I just go and take it right here, so new user, and I push that into the fake database. And then in the get, I just go and re-render the page with all the users. And then it just updates the current fake database. So it takes all the users, sends them to the front end page, they go and they mingle together using EJS, so embedded JavaScript. And then once that's done, it goes and prints them all out for us. So that's how you make a dynamic page. So we're going to get rid of that. Now, that's pretty much it. I'm going to end it right here. I'm going to be making a course on how to make a full stack application with this. So let's say we used EJS to make a simple Twitter clone. So you go, you log in, you tweet, you log out, someone logs in with a different account, and now they see your tweet on their feed. So you do things like that. I would love to have some constructive criticism on where I went wrong with this video or where I went right, so I can make the next one better. Thank you for watching.